Not everyone will be taken in the rapture. And the scariest part is that many who believe they are prepared haven't even realized that the door is already open. It's not hidden behind grand events or marked on a calendar. It's a hidden door, invisible to the natural eye, but visible to the heart that still hears the whisper of the Spirit. And yes, it's been thrown wide open, but only those who've already made the right decision internally can pass through it. Many people are waiting for the sound of trumpets, the sky tearing open, the end times to arrive in a grand spectacle. But what if I told you that the rapture won't be decided by a sound from the sky, but by a hidden door that's already right in front of you? Now, it's a counterintuitive statement, I know. After all, we grew up expecting something extraordinary. But the kingdom of God works in reverse. What is truly great begins in silence. This video will show you exactly where this hidden door is, why so few can see it, and what you need to do to cross through it before it's too late. This isn't meant to scare you, but to wake you up. Because the rapture won't be a surprise for those already living prepared. What separates those who go from those who stay isn't appearance, it's posture. And when you discover where this door is and why it's already open, you'll realize that the most important decision of your life might need to be made today, without applause, but with urgency. Some doors are so silent that even when wide open, no one notices. It's like that moment when life gives you a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, but because it doesn't come with applause or flashing signs, you walk right past it. The Bible speaks of doors like this. Noah saw a door close, and there wasn't a single sound besides the rain. Revelation 3:8 reminds us that there's a door no one can shut. But what good is an open door if no one sees it? This door isn't made of wood or iron, and it doesn't have visible hinges. It's spiritual, invisible to distracted eyes, but clear to the heart that's still tuned to God's whisper. It might appear as a nudge to forgive someone today, or that quiet pull to disconnect from the world and spend time alone with God. It's something internal, like a gentle impulse, but one that changes everything. Only those who are spiritually aware can recognize it. Many people look to the future, waiting for a big sign, as if the sky will open and an angel will descend, holding a flashing sign that says, "Now." But it doesn't work that way. God doesn't compete with the noise of the world. He moves in the now, in the simple, in the secret. The one waiting for something spectacular might end up missing the essential. The door is here, in this very second, but the heart needs to be clean to see it. And here's the curious thing. When someone finally notices this door, there are no trumpets or crowds. It's as if heaven waits silently for a subtle decision. And when someone walks through it, their environment shifts without them moving an inch. It's a spiritual atmosphere change, a new awareness of what God is doing. But that awareness only begins to unfold when we truly understand what this door really represents. Many people still associate God with grand events, packed conferences, explosive worship services, supernatural manifestations, and while God can move in those moments, He chose a much more intimate and quieter path for this door. The great turning point doesn't happen on a stage, but in the secret place of the heart. The door that defines the rapture isn't visible to the natural eye. It's an internal posture, a heart that surrenders when no one else is watching. The key to this door isn't made of metal. It bears spiritual marks: obedience without applause, surrender without recognition, a hunger for holiness even when everything around you encourages the opposite. It's choosing not to lash out in anger, even when you're right. turning off the series to pray, even when you're tired, saying yes to God in a world where everyone says later. Those who live like this are already turning the key to eternity. Matthew 7:13 to 14 speaks of a narrow door, difficult and tight, and for one simple reason: it requires something you can't buy and you don't learn by accident. It demands that your heart be willing to die to itself, something institutional religion rarely teaches. Following rules is easier than true inner transformation. But God's door isn't about moralism. It's surgical. It goes straight to the spot we try hardest to hide. And here's the danger. Some people think they're waiting for the rapture, but their heart has already gone cold. It's distracted, numbed by indulgence. And that's the risk, because this door doesn't swing open with fanfare. It opens with alignment. And alignment isn't done in a crowd. It's done alone, on your knees, in the secret place. That's where everything begins to shift. Even if, on the outside, everything looks the same. The modern church has grown used to the show. Lights, intense music, emotional sermons. They all have their place, of course. But the problem begins when God's people start confusing movement with spiritual direction. So many are waiting for loud signs, prophets in public squares, spiritual earthquakes. But what if God's invitation has already been made in silence? What if the real signal is a whisper only heard by those who've slowed down? God has always preferred the still small voice over thunder. Just ask Elijah in the cave. In Noah's days, everything looked normal. People were eating, drinking, marrying, working. No one imagined the end was near. Only Noah discerned the times. And he didn't see the end arrive with lightning, but with a simple nudge from God. Enter the ark. The door closed on what seemed like an ordinary day. That says a lot. Sometimes the most ordinary day is the most decisive. It's that quiet yes you say when no one's watching that alters your eternal destiny. The church must stop waiting for noise and start recognizing the subtle invitations. What many call waiting for God's timing is, in reality, just a fancy excuse for delayed obedience, because the invitation has already been sent. What's missing is the courage to respond. God is speaking through the details, the discomfort with sin, the loss of joy in distractions, the longing for the secret place. These are spiritual signs, not special effects. Those waiting for the sky to split open might ignore the window flung wide inside their own spirit. It's not about seeing with your eyes, it's about sensing in your heart that He's already spoken. And here's the hard truth. Most people want a calling, but few are willing to quiet everything down just to listen. God's voice today doesn't compete with chaos, it whispers, and to hear it, you must silence everything else. Less agenda, more altar. Less opinion, more surrender. God is already calling His people, and those who respond don't need an audience. It's in anonymity that sons and daughters are being marked. Those who grasp this are already hearing that the sound of heaven doesn't come later. It's already echoing within those willing to listen. The truth is, this door doesn't open through beautiful speeches. It opens through painful choices. God isn't asking for your performance. He's asking for your attachments. And that's where many stumble. Because this door requires you to let go of something you love. Not an obvious sin, but that comfortable habit, that well-hidden pride, that emotional crutch that feels harmless. Singing about surrender is easy. What's hard is letting go of what secretly feeds your ego. The rich young ruler knew exactly where the door was. He saw Jesus, heard the invitation, understood the path, but he hesitated. Not out of rebellion, out of attachment. He didn't want to let go of what he had worked so hard to build, and honestly, what he thought he could still manage. The decision to walk through the door isn't logical, it's existential, and it hurts. Sometimes it asks you to stop justifying what you know already grieves the spirit, and the price is always what you're most reluctant to surrender. Many people are stuck in the almost. Almost obey, almost change, almost surrender. But this door doesn't respond to almost. It moves with firm decisions, ones no one sees, but heaven records, forgiving someone who never apologized, breaking a cycle of lies in your relationship, letting go of a friendship that's quietly pulling your soul away from God. Small things in human eyes, massive ones in God's. That's where the door opens, in the place where the heart finally says yes. This isn't about living a theatrical faith, full of cliches and polished Bible quotes. It's about a faith that bleeds in secret. When you say no to yourself, just to say yes to God. When you delete a message you know would cause division. When you choose silence instead of proving a point. These are the keys that unlock what's been locked inside. And if you understand this, you begin to see that the price of walking through this door is giving up what's keeping you outside. Transformation doesn't begin when the sky opens, it begins when the heart bows. Many still believe the rapture will be a sudden event, but it's already underway. It's happening in the backstage of the soul, in the silence of surrender, in the pain of inner change. Those walking through this door feel a constant restlessness. Nothing satisfies anymore. Shallow conversations feel empty. Entertainment begins to lose its flavor. Something deep within longs for eternity. And that hunger isn't ordinary. It's a sign of preparation. The truth is, God is preparing a quiet but awakened people. These are the ones who no longer fit into empty social circles, who walk into places and feel something is spiritually off, who prefer a quiet, dark room to a noisy, flashy feed. And no, that's not spiritual depression, it's discernment. They sense that something is stirring in the invisible, and that sensitivity is a gift, a divine call disguised as discomfort. Their soul is already living in a different atmosphere. These people aren't waiting for a special church service or some dazzling revelation. They're responding to the Spirit's daily nudges, not because they're better, but because they've chosen not to ignore Him. They're learning to say no to themselves, even when it hurts. They're unplugging from autopilot and reconnecting with purpose. They begin to realize that, more than changing religions, God is changing hearts, and every small decision starts to carry eternal weight. Every simple choice becomes a step toward heaven. The rapture doesn't start with a sound in the sky. It starts with a surrender in the heart. That one line says it all. It's a quiet but powerful surrender. Those who walk through this door are changed. And if you haven't changed, maybe you haven't walked through it yet. The fruits begin to show. More compassion, more truth, fewer masks. Prayer becomes a lifeline, not a chore. Fasting isn't a spiritual diet, it's a soul detox. And once this transformation begins, there's no going back, only forward. It always feels like there's still time, like you can wait a little longer, delay a little more, live just a bit like nothing's happening. But if there's one thing Jesus made clear in his parables, it's that this door does close, and when it does, there's no second call. Matthew 25:10 speaks of the wise and foolish virgins. They all had lamps, but only some had enough oil. The detail? The bridegroom came in the middle of the night, without warning. No chance to improvise. Those who weren't ready were left outside. The urgency isn't in the speed of the signs, it's in the sensitivity of those listening. God is never rushed, but he's also not repetitive. He calls once, twice, maybe 3 times, then he goes quiet. The Holy Spirit doesn't shout. He invites and waits. Those who are spiritually awake feel time speeding up. They sense the earth groaning, values flipping, evil becoming normalized. This isn't false alarm. It's a closing notice, and those who perceive it know that the time to respond is now, not later. Now, a lot of people are still waiting for something spectacular to finally surrender to Jesus. They want a miracle, a specific prophecy, a dramatic experience to shake off the doubt. But the invitation has already come, in secret. That one sermon that pierced your heart, that dream you can't shake, that random moment of tears you couldn't explain. God already spoke. The problem is, many are waiting for emotion, while God is working through decision. The door is open, but it won't stay that way forever. And the most serious part, when this door closes, there will be no debate, no arguments, no appeals. Just like with Noah's Ark, those who entered, entered. Those who stayed behind, stayed behind. It's harsh, but it's fair. And maybe, just maybe, this video, this message, this very moment is the final knock before the silence. The Spirit is still calling. And if you're feeling something right now, it means he's still at the door. But the time to knock is almost over. Now that you've seen where this hidden door is, the question remains, will you walk through it, or will you keep waiting for a more obvious sign? Because heaven won't blow trumpets for those who ignore the whisper of their own conscience. And maybe right now, God is telling you, there's still time, but not for long. The rapture begins inside. And if your heart already feels something needs to change, that might be the sound of your calling. How many times have you delayed a decision you knew you had to make? How often has the Spirit pulled you closer, but you chose to wait until later? This door isn't a show, it's a choice. And those who keep postponing it may find themselves on the wrong side. Now that you know, what are you going to do about it? Are you willing to let go of small things to gain what is eternal? Are you ready to live a faith that transforms, not just informs? Drop a comment below. What part of this video hit you the hardest? I'd love to read your thoughts and connect with you. And if you feel this message needs to reach others, share it with someone you